Hidden away in the mountains of Montana is a blast from the past with a gold mining era ghost town. Let's take a look at all the cool Victorian style stuff they've got here. We're back in Montana today, taking a scenic drive through the wilds. We're on our way to Virginia City, so some folks have made a fortune here, but what they left behind was priceless. Montana has the deepest pride and affection for Virginia City. No more colorful, pioneering mining camp ever existed. Dramatic tales of the early days in this vicinity are legend. Rich gold digging deposits were discovered in Adler Gulch in the spring of 1863, and the stampede of gold seekers and their parasites was on. All these gold seekers soon lined the gulch, and various of these little cities blossomed forth as trading and amusement centers for miners looking for something to do. Virginia City is the best known of these, and the sole survivor. This very much alive ghost town, Virginia City, is frozen in time. It's remarkably well preserved in its Old West Victorian gold mining type of style, and it's just 20 miles west of Yellowstone National Park, which is 90 miles by road because it's not a straight line. You're going to go through some twists and turns. When the gold ran out, there was still enough left so that the homes and the businesses were occupied. But there wasn't enough wealth to remodel the buildings, so it just kind of froze in time, and now it represents what the whole Victorian era was in Montana. It's true to the original Old West. I mean, it's a little gem held within an incredibly rich area of natural beauty, recreation, and history. With a population of over 10,000 in 1864, Virginia City was the largest town in the area. The communities strung out along Adler Gulch were known as the 14-mile city. The most commonly asked question here in Virginia City now is how many people live here currently. According to the latest population survey, it's 130. So it's shrunk down a little from the original 10,000. I like this old antique style technology. You know, you get the old cash register and all these little gizmos down here. Oh, this is actually something I recognize. Let's break open the glass real quick and play around with it. Just kidding. Back at home, my dad actually has one of these Edison recording tubes. Edison is credited with the phonograph, which was the first audio recording and playback device. The first recording cylinders were actually made with tinfoil wrapped around wood, but of course that's not practical for any sort of commercial use. These are wax, and over the years the type of wax that they used in the cylinders was improved and hardened so you could play the tubes with decent quality over 100 times. And that was breakthrough technology then. I mean, the original cylinders you could play for maybe like 20 times and they'd break. Imagine that. Imagine though, if you bought a song for probably a lot back then, and you could only play it 100 times. That's pretty crazy considering what we have with MP3s and even CDs these days. I bet there's actually streaming services for MP3s that does similar practice today, that it locks you out, or like subscription service-based music. So we're coming full circle. I get all my music from pirating though. Just kidding, I use audible.com. Use coupon code ZHCOPEC for 0% off your next purchase. If you're curious, the sound you're hearing is what this wax cylinder actually sounds like. It's the 1982 song My Little Persian Rose melody. One of my personal favorites of the tube. There's still an active community of people reenacting old-timey practices to give us an idea of what the style of life was back then. I'm going to pause this video for a second. Check this table out. It's the doctor's office for surgery with dirty knives and no anesthetic. That's just awful. As a kid, I saw this movie Master and Commander with Russell Crowe. Horribly real scenes where one of the shipmates is like 10 years old and he has to have his arm amputated because he got like this tiny little injury. Horrifying film. Then later, the ship doctor has to perform surgery on himself to remove a bullet. I wanted to put the clips here, but I'm sure the video would get taken down for copyright immediately. Check out the movie, though. It's a lot different than Pirates of the Caribbean. Anyway, back to something less heavy. How about this little tiny house? If this were made with modern materials and had some Wi-Fi, this would be a pretty nice, pretty little trendy tiny house. Here's the schoolhouse. You can see the old style iPads that all the kids had for their learning. All sorts of horse-drawn carriages, some working, some not. I didn't really realize how many styles there were, but I suppose that makes sense. You know, we have a million different types of cars these days. I'm not exactly sure what this chair was for, but here it is. Aw, this place is fun for all ages. Aw. And that's my little adventure to see the old ghost town. Though it's not very ghosty these days, there's tons of people. Seems like a fun place to spend the day. What's not shown here is all the restaurants and the entertainment that they put on, like plays and shows. I'm not big on those sort of things, but they're there if you dig them. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you have any ideas or cool places you think I should visit or make a video of, leave a comment in the, below the video down there. I'm pointing down there, but you can't see me because it's audio.